5 Emmys.
I'm Dolores Morris, and my grandfather, William A. Morris, was born in Elizabeth City, North Carolina in 1877. He was the son of a farmer, and he loved everything about the farm. But what he loved more than anything else was school, especially math. On this particular day, probably as a reward for being a good student, he was allowed to go with his father into town to have their crops weighed. And the shop owner in town was white. Little William was sitting in the wagon watching everything going on, and he noticed something was a little off. And he said to his father, "Papa, that man is cheating us." The shop owner heard this, came out, looked at little William, and then said to William's father, "That boy is too smart for his own good. He best not be in town after sundown." Everyone knew what that meant in those days. So William went home, and his parents put together his belongings as best they could, a little food, and he ran for his life. He left his home that night at 11 years old and had to sleep out in the countryside, out in the fields, under the stars, under trees. And to earn his living, he followed the crops as they ripened along the eastern seaboard. He picked cotton, he picked apples, he picked peaches. Eventually, he found his way to New York and Staten Island. He was about in his 20s by then, a very smart, resourceful young man. And so with his brother, he's decided to start a moving business with a horse and wagon. Eventually, this business became the largest African-American owned moving company on the eastern seaboard, the Morris Moving Company.